Hello, Town of Kingsville, Mayor Dennis Rogers. Just wanted to check in on a couple items. Really, a couple things that have really been important to me here this past term. And, from day one, it's really been, a Team Kingsville mentality. And, what that means is, we're not always going to agree on our policies, but we're definitely going to agree on our principles. And, as council, it's our job to challenge recommendations and, ask the tough questions and seek feedback from our community, and then really make a decision what's best for this community as a whole. You've seen that, and we've had to make a lot of tough, really tough decisions, especially coming out of COVID. And we always haven't agreed. They're not all 7-0s, and we won some and we lost some. But what you haven't seen is us compromising our principles, like respect. You haven't read about, council administration calling each other out online or in the news. And, it's my job to set the tone. I'm going to continue to provide, a steady hand, a consistent hand at the wheel, if I'm fortunate enough to be reelected. And, policy is a team sport. And, the last thing our community needs is fighting amongst ourselves. This job is hard enough. It's our job to make decisions, what's best as the community as a whole. And then we move on to the next item. So appreciate your time. We'll see you out there, and re-elect Dennis Rogers for mayor.